Wow, right. I wanted to hop on and let everybody know that I'm okay. I'm hunkering down like the rest of the world and staying as safe as I can. I have been so blessed with this YouTube channel because I have virtual sewing friends all over the world. It's so interesting to me that we're all united by this passion that we have for sewing and creating, but now we're also united by this crisis that is just affecting everybody. I really want to use this YouTube platform to encourage you. I'm going to be doing a lot of sewing. I told my husband we have several weeks worth of food in our freezer and our pantry, and I have several years worth of fabric and supplies. So that's what I'm going to be doing because it just brings me joy. I'm going to be filming more, hopefully putting out a couple, 3 videos a week, just showing what I'm working on. This first few videos, I'm going to be sharing some items that I've gotten in Happy Mail, and so just showing the projects that I've been using them for and creating with them. So thank you everybody who sent me some fun things to open during this time. So let's get started with the first project. I received this sweet fabric in Happy Mail, and I wanted to show what I'm going to make out of it. Love these little nesting dolls. They're bright and they're colorful. And I made this little zippered pouch. There's a couple things about this pouch that I wanted to share with you. I did a patchwork easy background on it, a removable detachable little handle, but also reinforced corners. And I did share this in another video a while ago, how I do these corners. It's great if you have a delicate fabric or if you have a fabric that is lighter in color like this. I'm using a jelly roll that I picked up at the Missouri Quilt Company, and I cut some of those 2.5-inch strips in varying widths, but no narrower than 1 inch. And some of them I did leave the 2.5-inch width as well. My foundation piece is a piece of batting that I am using, and that batting is cut 11 inches by 13 inches. And I'm just going to lay these strips on. I like to start with a white strip when I do this, and I did learn that actually from Jenny from the Missouri Quilt Company. That white just gives it a, I don't know, it just gives it some kind of starting point, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of these different blocks. Having that white is just kind of a nice way to unify everything. So I started with the white, and I am just using a 1/4 inch seams here, and I'm pressing before I add another one. Just doing some trimming. I'm just going to continue on here, just adding strips until this entire piece of batting is covered with fabric. My piece is completely covered. I just flip it over and I'm going to do some trimming. When I do this, I always cut my batting piece a little bit bigger than I need. The batting has a tendency to shrink, or sometimes it seems to grow. So I always cut it a little bit bigger and then I trim it down. My finished piece is going to be 11 inches by 12 inches. And I do end up cutting, I think, about a 1/2 inch off of this one end to get it to the size that I want. My lining piece, I'm using this chevron piece, and that is the same width, but I do add 1 inch to the bottom. I did realize that I cut this chevron going vertical instead of the other way, but it's fine. Just cutting this in half now, this lining piece. So your finished lining pieces are going to be 11 inches by 6.5 inches. For those corners, I'm cutting one circle, and I'm just using a cup. This circle is about 3.5 inches. You do not want to go smaller than a 3-inch. I think you could go as whatever size cup you have, but up to a 4-inch would be fine. I'm just cutting that circle out. This fabric that I'm using is a polyester suede fabric. It is a knit, and it has like a knit background backing on it. Does not fray, and that's what I like for my corners. A felt would also work for this, or a faux suede would work. I'm cutting that circle in half now, and also finding the center of my little bag here. I'm just lining these up now, right, so I get them centered on each side. This I'm going to take to my sewing machine now, and I am going to edge stitch it in dark brown thread. Those are all in place, and now it's on to adding my little cute dolls. I'm just fussy cutting out 3 of them. I do have the heat and bond Lite on the back side of these. I'm just figuring out where I want them and removing that backing. And then just ironing them into place. I'm at my sewing machine now, and I'm going to stitch these on with free motion stitching with black thread. I do want them to show up and kind of pop off this busy background. So I'm using my black thread, and I will be going over my design twice with my stitching. I'm also going to be outlining some of the hair, just to give that a little bit more of detail. And now I'm up into the hair and just going to outline it. And I'm going to go ahead and complete the other 2 dolls the same way. For your zipper, you do need a longer zipper for this method with these reinforced corners. The zipper needs to extend off your edge at least 2 to 3 inches. I am using a 14-inch zipper. This will make more sense when I start top stitching. You'll see why you need that longer zipper. You just need that extra space. Getting my zipper sandwiched between my outer fabric and my lining. The zipper's in the between, and I do have my right sides together on my lining and my outer fabric. Just lining everything up, getting everything out to the edge, and using my little clips to keep everything together. And I'm going to be stitching that. I'm just using my straight foot stitch here. So I'm stitching about 1/4 of an inch away from the edge, and just using that edge as my guide. It's going to be stitching right in the center of this zipper tape. Making sure everything is lining up. And now I'm still at my sewing machine. I'm going to, I'm just going to finger press this lining and everything into place so I can top stitch. I'm just pulling that lining to make it everything even and straight so it's not bunching up underneath there. And using my pressure foot again as a guide as I'm top stitching this. Now for the second part of the zipper, you just flip that other side up and again sandwich that zipper in between your outer fabric and your lining. So the outer fabric and the lining are right sides together with that zipper in between. I'm just getting everything lined up on both the ends and the top here. And it'll be top stitching that, or excuse me, stitching that in. Now I'm on to the top stitching, and I wanted you just to see that I need that zipper to be longer because I need that extra space in order to get this top stitched. Because this bag is closed at the bottom with those reinforced corners, I really do need that extra space that extra long zipper gives. And now I've got this weird looking thing. I'm going to add my loop and my handle. I cut this piece 2.5 inches by 18 inches. Just folding it up and ironing, and then meeting both edges to the center. And then bringing it up and ironing it flat. And I'll be top stitching on both sides of this. After it's top stitched, I cut 3 inches off and I'm forming my loop. And I place my loop on the zipper pull side of my pouch. Just getting everything all figured out here. It goes on my zipper pull side, about 1 inch down from the zipper, and I'll just be top stitching that into place. Now it's on to finishing up the bag. I'm folding that zipper so the teeth are towards the lining. My zipper is open, but that zipper pull is not off the edge. And again, my zipper teeth are towards the lining. Just getting everything all lined up here. I'm going to be leaving about a 5-inch opening in my bottom of my lining piece. You'll see it here in a second. I'm actually going to mark that opening. And I'm taking it to my sewing machine and I'm going to be stitching a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Everything's stitched and I'm just trimming off that excess zipper, my excess little loop there, and my corners. Turning my bag right sides out, poking in through my corners, then those reinforced corners. And then folding under my lining, ironing that flat, and that gets just gets sewn, stitched down with my sewing machine. Putting the lining back in my bag. We're almost done. I want to just do my little handle. I've got a little swivel hook here, and just put it on one side, fold under, and I'm going to just top stitch it over the top of the bottom layer there. And I'm going to do an X little stitch. And now I just want to add a little pull to the zipper. Got a little bulb pin here, safety pin, adding a couple little buttons to it. Thank you, everybody. Just gonna stick my little hook on here. I hope you enjoyed this project. Stay safe. Bye for now.